What is a active immunity? What is a passive immunity? One of the common terms that we have understood over our previous lectures, but an important concept. Active immunity can be attained by two ways. Either through a natural infection, I get infected to something and then I get the antibodies for the same, or I vaccinate myself, I get vaccinated and attain this active immunity. Active immunity is relatively long lasting for a longer duration of time. Passive immunity is relatively for a shorter duration of time. Now, how does passive immunity move? Passive immunity moves from mother to a child, so it can be either through the placenta. Now this happens mainly during the last 3 months, and therefore we say if the baby is premature, then the immunity level of the baby is very low. First few doses of certain vaccinations, for example MMR, is given at 2 months. So why they are given at 2 months? Because till 2 months those antibodies are carried from mother to the child, and the child is well protected for the first 2 months. But as more than 2 months proceed, the immunity level starts to decline. So in order to maintain that, vaccination shots are then given. But the passive immunity for some diseases can go up to 1 year. So for MMR, let's say if it goes up to 1 year, then the MMR would be administered only at 1 year. However, if there is HIB, the Haemophilus influenza B virus, it goes for only 2 months, then it would be given at 2 months. So whatever the duration of the vaccination is, the vaccination would be given till the time the baby has a capability to carry the antibody from the mother to the child. So one way of carrying the passive immunity is through placental movement. The second important way is through the colostrum. Now colostrum is the milk which is a yellowish pigment in the first few days, and this milk is extremely rich in antibodies which are transmitted from mother to the child. So that's another way through which the passive immunity works. Now as you can see, there are two cases that we have understood. In the first cases, the person and the surrounding person, the first person is infected but all the surrounding persons are immunized, so this disease does not move further. Okay. However, in the second case, the first person is infected, and therefore what happens is the infection moves from the first to the second and so on. However, in the second case, it cannot move because the second person is infected. So since the first person is infected here and all other persons are immune, so the surrounding persons are immunized, this infection cannot carry further. However, in this case, the infection was capable of carrying itself further. So as you can see in the diagram, the infection carried in the first case, but in the second case the infection was not able to carry itself because of the immunity. So vaccines do provide active immunity. Vaccines do not actually make you sick, but they trick the body to believe that you have been ill at some point of time. Since you had been ill at some point of time and your body gets tricked, your body considers that now, okay, I am well immunized against this disease. So active immunity can be achieved either through natural immunity, that is due to direct infection, or through vaccination. We again have the direct immunity, which is either through the introduction of the weakened form or the killed form of the organism. It could be the virus or the bacteria. However, the passive immunity is when the immunity is given from a diseased person to another person. So from mother to child through placenta, from mother to child through colostrum, or a person in certain specific cases could be given immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are antibody containing blood products. Now these antibody containing blood products are given for a specific diseases. In those cases, the person develops a specific immunity to a specific disease, and therefore the passive immunity is relatively short-lived. It lives there only for few weeks, few durations, and then it wipes away. So that's how we understand the difference between the passive immunity is short-lived for few weeks or few months. However, active immunity is long-lived because you have faced the infection. Now if the mother gets a chicken pox and those chickenpox antibodies are transferred from the mother to the child through the placenta. That means that the child would have the resistance to chickenpox for first few months, but that's through a passive immunity. Once the passive immunity is lost, the child would be susceptible to infection at a later stage. So at 1 year you would have to administer MMR again. So that's how we understand active immunity versus the passive immunity. The best examples of passive immunity are placenta, colostrum and immunoglobins through injections. For active immunity, it is natural infections or vaccination. Very, very important difference, specifically in light of the recent developments. Extremely important topic for your upcoming examination. We'll be taking many such interesting lectures for your knowledge enhancement and your competitive exam preparation in the upcoming videos. So don't miss to be tuned with the channel. Have a wonderful day ahead.